Dusty here from Discovery Lab in Tulsa, Oklahoma for Discover at Home's Engineering Challenge of the Week. We're going to be showing you how to perform our High Winds Engineering Challenge. For this challenge, we want you guys to discover what materials and shapes of buildings are best to stand up against Oklahoma's strong winds. You'll need to gather your materials before you begin. The first thing you'll want is a plate or a tray to create your buildings on. You want at least 3. You could use paper plates, plastic plates, pie pans, cookie sheets, whatever you have laying around is fine. Just something that's nice and flat. You'll also want to gather 3 different types of material to create your buildings out of. You could go outside and find sticks, grass, straw, rocks, whatever you want. Or you could get your recyclables, cardboard, paper, plastic, or even metal. Just make sure that you get 3 very different materials. I'm going to be using straws, wooden blocks, and interlocking plastic blocks. You'll also need a way to create wind. I'm going to be able to use my fan here indoors, but if you guys don't have a fan, feel free to test this by going outside on a very windy day, or maybe just blowing as hard as you can. Whenever homes and buildings are built, they're built to specific codes, so that way the engineers know that they can stand up against certain things, like fires and floods. However, there are certain extreme weather conditions that even these codes aren't quite enough to block. For instance, if your shingles are rated to stand up against 40-mile-an-hour winds, they might fall apart in a tornado. Similarly, if your house is able to stand up against an inch of water, what happens when it's completely underwater, like in a hurricane? Here in Oklahoma, generally tornadoes are the most common severe weather we have to deal with, and the associated hail and strong winds. Therefore, whenever we build buildings here in Oklahoma, we want to make certain that they're strong enough to stay together and protect the people inside without suffering too much damage. This is what we have for you guys to do today. You're going to collect your materials, and then we're going to test and see which materials work best to stand up against strong winds. Build each building on its own individual plate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start creating using my straws. I'm going to think about what shape would I want my building to be. Well, most buildings are pretty square, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start building in just back and forth square pattern and getting as tall as I can with my straws. All right, that one looks pretty good. Set that one to the side. Now, you guys could choose a different shape. You might try and do a pyramid or a cone shape, or maybe you want to try and do a dome. That'd be cool. I'm going to use my wooden blocks now. This time, I think in a skyscraper. I'm going to go as tall as I can using these blocks. Again, I'm building in kind of a squarish pattern, but you guys can do it whatever you think. It's going to depend upon which materials you've got. Oh, looks like I didn't do that one very well. It's already fallen apart. That's okay. Sometimes, even in the building process, you might notice things don't work. That's why we test our ideas. So I know I need to go back to the drawing board and do something slightly different. I need to make certain mine is balanced better so it doesn't tip over. So I think I'm going to start doing things diagonally rather than straight across. Ah, there we go. That's looking a little bit better. In fact, I think I want to go even taller. All right, there's my next building. All right, now I'm going to use my third material. I'm going to use my interlocking blocks and try and make the tallest tower I can. I'm using just these guys. Now, what do you guys think? Which one of these you think is going to be the best material? Which one's going to stand up the best to these high winds? What type of materials is your house made out of? Do you feel protected and safe? Good. Sometimes in Oklahoma, we even dig storm shelters that are even more protected because they're lower and under the ground to help keep us safe from high winds and tornadoes. Right, I think one more right there ought to do me. All right, so there is my tower right there. Now it's time to test them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place them all within the same wind vortex. If you guys had 4 fans, you could point them all at it right in the middle, so you create a super wind tunnel. This is actually something that engineers do. They have wind tunnels to test different materials against high winds. They'll build a scale model and put it inside the wind tunnel and see how well it survives. So I'm going to arrange these guys so they all get about the same wind. So they're all the same distance away from my fan. And I'm going to turn it on. Let's see now. Get them a little bit closer together so they all get some good wind. And now here we go. Uh-oh. Well, the straws have already definitely failed. They blew all the way on the floor. And it looks like my wooden blocks are holding up pretty well. My Legos are wiggling a little bit. Let's put them directly in front of the fan and see what happens. Uh-oh. My wind got even stronger, and my wooden blocks weren't able to hold up against it. However, my Legos are still holding strong. But you can see as I put them up against even stronger wind, it eventually falls down. So of my 3 materials, these blocks were the strongest. However, even they fell over whenever the wind got too strong as it got closer and closer. So that means I need to go back and make this even stronger. Maybe I could think of a different shape. What shape do you guys think would be the strongest against the wind? Like I said, if you guys don't have a fan to test, you could always just huff and puff and try and blow it down. Sometimes I like to use this guy. This simulates a giant gust of wind rather than a strong, continuous wind. Whatever you guys think, I'm excited to see how well you guys defeat our challenge. Make sure you guys do send us a photo of your strongest building that held up against the toughest of winds. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, and I'll see you all next time.